Hey all, how's it going? Hope everybody's doing well. This is Steve, your instructor for addictions and dependencies. I just wanted to make this quick little, instructional video to help guide you how to get through this Blackboard course and tell you all the things that you need to know and do to get through this course, because it will be all online and be what we call asynchronous, so it will not be in live time. First thing you want to know about is the textbook that's required for this course. There is a required textbook. It's called Drugs Across the Spectrum, 8th edition. Authors are Goldberg and Mitchell. Any previous editions will not have current information, so they're really not useful for this course. So I definitely recommend getting that as soon as you can. They also have electronic copies available as well that you can download. So getting back to Blackboard, let's just switch over for a moment and share our application screen. So when you go onto the course site on Blackboard, you should see your home screen, like we see right here. And you'll see 2021 Addictions and Dependencies. Just make sure I have. Okay, so here's our course. 2021 Addictions and Dependencies, HE 104, Queensborough Community College. You notice the first tab that's called Virtual Classroom. That will take you to the site where we can actually have live meetings. So if there's any instance where you want to have a meeting face-to-face, discuss things going on in the class, discuss your progress, we can do it right here rather than just going back and forth in emails. We can do it in live time. Here's a tab for announcements if we need to make any announcements in class. But I'll also back those up with an email as well. This is my contact information. That's my mugshot right there. You can email me at switlock@qcc.cuny.edu. You'll probably receive that email already. For a faster response, you may want to get in touch with me at my other email. It's steveqccemt@gmail.com. And if you email me that site, I usually get back to you a lot faster than on the Queensborough site. Very important you take a look at the course outline that we have here. And I don't know if this will show up on the screen or not. Let's try. If not, I'll share it from here. And when you hit the course outline tab, that will give you a copy of this semester's syllabus. And just to go over the syllabus for a few moments, I don't know if I can make this any larger, but you'll notice on your syllabus there's information regarding the course, number of credits, and if you scroll down, you'll see that each week there are required assignments. It'll give you the date, the topic, what we're going to be covering, the chapters in the textbook, what homework or assignments are due, and what discussion questions are due. I'll talk about that in a moment, all through the end of the semester. So if you see right here, your grade, because everybody wants to really know about that, how you're going to be graded in this course, is based on a few factors. The first factor, it will be your homework assignments, and we'll talk about how homework assignments work in a few moments. They'll be anywhere between 10 to 20 question assignments based on the upcoming material, in which case you'll have 2 attempts to accomplish that assignment. It will be graded on a scale of 0 to 100. The highest grade out of the 2 attempts will go towards your average. So you have 2 attempts. My hope is that you will go through the syllabus, look at the assignments, the required reading, then do the reading. Not necessarily have to understand all of it, but just be familiar with it. Do the homework assignment before the due date. Look at the answers. Look at the corrections. And then you'll have another chance to do that homework assignment after you've kind of reviewed everything that you got wrong or got right for that matter. This accounts for about a good 20% of your grade, and it's pretty much free points if you just put the work in. The next criteria will be based on quizzes. Quizzes will cover the previously covered material. So the quiz on, for example, prevalence of substance abuse, Chapter 1 will be assigned after that material has been covered. Then the big bulk of your grade will be based on discussion questions. Discussion questions are really the meat and potatoes of this course. It's to give us an idea of how well you're kind of grasping this information, what kind of original ideas and insight you have to these topics, what you can contribute to the overall knowledge and overall foundation of what we're trying to accomplish here, which is really kind of to broaden your view and your scope and your knowledge of the topic of substance abuse, addictions, and dependencies in the society. And then there'll be a final exam at the end of the course. It's a 100-question multiple choice. Be very, very basic. It will not be tricky. It's just more of a requirement than anything else. So again, back to the homework assignments, we talked about how that works. After the homework assignments, each week on Monday at 9 o'clock, a new presentation will be put on course sites on Blackboard. And the discussion questions will be based on the upcoming material. And I'll show you how that works out in a minute. As far as discussion questions, this is the grading matrix or rubric for our discussion questions. Each week, you'll have 2 discussion questions assigned. You'll have the whole week to complete them. It'll be up to you to write about a 200 to 250 word response to that question. And these are not just yes/no questions, knowledge recall questions. It requires some kind of critical thinking and independent work on your part. The more you put in, the better grade you'll probably get. And you see that the highest grade you can get on each individual discussion question is a 4. The lowest you can get is a 0. A 0 is basically you don't do the assignment within the allotted time. A 4 is that shows me that you've really put the work into it. You've taken the question, you've researched it, you've put your own thoughts and insights into it. You've backed up your opinions with references. There's very, very little grammatical errors or spelling errors, and then it just kind of works its way down the line from there. Quizzes will be a one-shot deal. You'll be anywhere from 20 to 25 questions on the previous topic. You'll have a certain amount of time to do it. Once you start the quiz, it needs to be completed within that time frame. So if you have 25 minutes to complete the quiz, you start it now. You can sign out if you have to, but you have only 25 minutes from the beginning of that quiz to complete it, and it'll be one shot for that. So that's your syllabus, and it'll come to probably make more sense as we go through the course. Let's go through the other tabs in this. So here's this grade here, this tab here. You can view all your grades, and we can discuss those. Let's go to this tab right here, this tab where it says textbook PowerPoints. This gives you basically the ability to download, complete for the following week. And as I said, you'll have up to 2 attempts to complete that homework assignment. So for example, if you go into my sample homework for review, which I put up here, you can go over that. I'll open that up and you can go over that yourself. So let's look at these questions one by one. Begin. Now the homeworks are not timed. You have as much time as you need to complete the homework. This test allows for 2 attempts. This is attempt number 1. It can be saved or resumed later. So question number 1, which of the following is Superman's weakness? For any of you comic book geeks out there, is it kryptonite? Is it red sun radiation? Is it magic? Or is it all of the above? Well, for those of you who have ever picked up a Superman comic, you know that the answer would be all of above. Now you can either go on to the next question or you can save your answer, whichever you prefer. I would suggest saving your answer after completing it, so this way if there's any technical issue, you have it recovered. Who was Spider-Man's first girlfriend? So now if you're a big fan of the movies, you would probably say Mary Jane Watson. So we'll click that and see how we do with that. Now, any other answers? And well, we'll go on and save that answer as well. Question number 3. Who was the world's first blind superhero? Now, on first glance, you may think it's Batman, because bats are blind, aren't they? But these other two questions don't really make any sense, do they? But for anybody that has any bit of Marvel comic fandom behind them will know that the first blind superhero was actually Daredevil. And then finally, the last question, who would win out in all-out superhero battle royale? Would it be Superman, Hulk, Thor, or what the actual true answer is, your instructor really needs to grow up and start taking things more seriously. So we'll save that answer. Now, once we've finished with all our answers and we're happy with them, we'll hit save and submit. Test submission confirmation, click cancel to return to the test. So this will give you a last warning before your submission is complete. Hit OK. Test saved and submitted. So if I want to see how I did, I'm going to hit OK here. I didn't do too good. So I got 20 out of 40 points. Let's see what I did wrong. So which was following Superman's weakness? Well, you know what? I actually keyed that wrong because the actual answer is all of the above. Who was Spider-Man's first girlfriend? It was not Mary Jane Watson. If you go through the original Spider-Man series back in the early 60s, Betty Brant was a reporter whom he worked with at the Daily Bugle, who was his first love interest. The first blind superhero was Daredevil, not Batman. Now, what you can see here is through most of the questions, you'll also have some feedback to give you a little insight about why the answer was right, why the other answers were wrong. This is just something that was copied and pasted to give you a little information about Daredevil. And finally, the last, who would win an all-out superhero battle royale? You can answer that as you please. So once I hit OK, I have one more attempt to do that assignment. And hopefully I'll do better the second time around. So you have 2 attempts for each homework assignment. The highest grade of the 2 attempts will be calculated into your average. So let's move on. So your weekly lessons will be found in this little tab right here. So here's some pre-course work that I'd like you to take a look at. All right. So again, going back to our discussion about superheroes and comic books and how I really need to get life, here's a little video about the whole Marvel universe, full story. Although if you have a lot of extra time on your hands, you can watch that video. But in the meantime, you've already done the homework corresponding with this week's classwork. Once that's all said and done, you want to go and take a look at your discussion questions. Now, the discussion question will actually be, will cover upcoming material, but it's to give you a little food for thought and to help you give your classmates food for thought as well. So, Batman versus Superman discussion question number 1. So I click on the tab, and the question here is, please discuss how Batman would defeat Superman in combat without the use of kryptonite. All right, so here's a whole article on Superman and Batman and how Superman's weakness and how Batman could take on Superman without the use of kryptonite, but that's a little beyond the scope of our presentation here. And then finally, your other tab here is weekly quiz. And although nothing's up there right now, you can see it on my board, but weekly quiz. Each week, you'll have another quiz. It'll be posted at 9 a.m. on Monday. You'll have 9 a.m. till the next Monday to complete it. So I would suggest that you do the previous week's homework first, then do the reading assignments, then take a little break, make sure you reviewed your homework, and then take the quizzes when you feel ready. But again, must be submitted by 9 o'clock Monday the following week. And just give you an idea how these weekly lessons in reality work. So we'll go to week 1, drugs in perspective. All right, if you go back to your syllabus, you'll see that that's chapter 1 in your syllabus. Now, what you haven't put up here yet will be on the top of the icon. You'll have the week's presentation, usually be a YouTube video covering the PowerPoints, covering some pertinent matters. And then right here, just for your own education, is another copy of the Goldberg PowerPoint. And then there's some other little things, some small videos, some articles, some some posts just to kind of give substance to the subject that we'll be talking about that week. And then at the end of the tab, you'll have your 2 discussion questions that need to be completed by the next week. So that's pretty much how the course works on Blackboard. This is going to be a learning experience for both of us because this is my first full semester teaching online, and every day I'm trying to learn something new. It's not how I originally learned to teach classes, but we got to roll with the punches and adapt whenever we can. Just to give you a little thoughts about how we're conducting this class. I understand that there are issues with doing an online class. It's not really the most perfect of venues. I'm willing to be a little flexible. A couple of lowest grades will be dropped. But that's understood that make sure that you take into account all technical issues with your computer, with your Wi-Fi. I really suggest not taking any quizzes or the final exam on a wireless network because if it crashes, you're going to lose time. Now, if that happens and you bomb out on that quiz, then hopefully that's the only quiz that you really had trouble with, and the lowest grade will be dropped. The lowest discussion question will be dropped. The lowest homework will be dropped. But don't take that for granted. Don't let that lull you into a false sense of security. I don't want this class to be hard, but I do expect that there's some effort put into it so we can learn, we can grow. And hopefully I can learn from you guys as much as you learn from this course. In any event, look forward to working with you. If you have any questions, please email me at your earliest convenience. You can use either one of those emails. And let's get this course into gear.